finished downloading the game.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh wow,
But-
an ad just popped up. on
Yeah,
the
same here
stream.
with me. An ad just popped up. So guys, we're on commercial break right now.
Yeah. I'm on commercial for
Airlines.
3, 2,
Two,
1.
one. And
it
we are
feels
back,
like
guys.
I am
Thanks
way
for
too
Twitch laying an
close
ad
to
over the
the
video.
Yeah, that was
Did
pretty
you-
funny.
Thank you
Well-
for tuning in. This episode,
don't-
Kayinus is sponsored.
Yeah.
I-
Okay.
KS is
I
sponsored
don't
by.
get
Sorry.
I don't get ads actually.
Oh, that's
Ad blocker.
funny. Well, those of you
Kayinus
who
is-
don't get ads, we just look like
Yeah.
a bunch of idiots right now.
Kayinus is officially sponsored by, I don't know, Hersey Boy.
By nobody.
Official
Anyway,
non-professional gamer.
A quick thing, if you want to, support your favorite YouTubers and Twitch TV people, don't use ad blocker because it actually takes away from the money that they earn through ads.
I
No,
know.
Kayinus is not making any money from these ads on Twitch.
No, I know this, but because you make money through subscriptions through Twitch, not.
right.
Anyway, but if you do it through YouTube and use ad blocker, that takes away from money that they're making. So
It does? I need
Yeah.
to see
Yes.
it. I watched Nate Shot's videos.
Oh my gosh, you.
Great,
fanboying.
you just told a bunch of people how to do something, Michael.
Anyway, back onto the PlayStation. So
No, I'm not saying
Back
it's
on
a good
topic.
thing. It's a very bad thing.
Back on
You're
topic.
Stealing money.
Back on topic.
it's
I
fraudulent.
steal nothing.
This is what happens when you get a bunch of gamers together to try to be professional.
Yeah.
Never-
It
We are the
doesn't
most
work.
unprofessional people I know.
Basically, we're trying.
We're
Anyway,
trying really, really hard to be slightly interesting. We're
But-
doing a good job, actually.
oh, that's good. Applaud.
We actually have 5 people in the stream.
And we should
Yeah.
actually go back on topic. So, with the PlayStation download. Okay, the other thing that, all right, this is where it starts to concern me a little bit when it comes to PlayStation, is they're focusing on like a Facebook style layout where you have your real friends join up on you. You got your picture. You're all pretty and unshaven like that guy in that video was, and then you're looking cool and snazzy, and then at the same time keeping your anonymity of like, oh, my name's Kayinus, so I don't have to put my real name down. But it's like that's where it concerned me, because they were really focused on we have a new layout, we have a new, you can go into mid game because it'll save your mid game because we have a chip that will remember everything you've ever done during that game.
So they're gonna use like
They
a
already
PSP?
did that. Speaking of that, the resume game. If any of y'all played with the PSP Go, which a bunch of people didn't because it was such a failure, the PSP Go actually implemented a feature kind of like what they're announcing on the PlayStation 4. You can stop a game in the middle of it, you can save it and turn off your PSP, and then you could turn it back on and click resume game, and it'll resume back to the state where you were before.
This PSP does that too. It puts it on standby.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the PSP. I'm talking about the PSP. The PSP Go
The
actually.
Vita does that.
No. Well, you said the Vita. I didn't hear that you said. That's because the PSP Go is what started it. I mean, if they're
PSP Go
doing,
sucks.
didn't you hear what I just said?
No.
I said it was a failure in my opinion.
Yeah. Can't win them all.
No, that was. I mean, they were trying to move to a digital, all digital platform, and that we're not ready for anything like that just yet. We're still in the disc era and disc and digital era where it's.
And we still have this this bandwidth crisis where
Yeah.
everyone's overselling.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was gonna wait for you, but I looked and saw that you were still in the Borderlands menu. I was like, fuck it, I'll just start.
Is that James? What is he doing? Anyway.
He's playing Mass Effect 3 on mine.
Mass Effect.
Oh god, don't even get me started on Mass Effect.
Yeah,
He's
no,
playing
we're
Mass-
talking about PlayStation 4, guys.
Not allowed to bag. It's one of my favorite series. End of that.
Oh, it was pretty good.
Yep. But I mean,
But
It's a good game, but EA completely just destroyed it
Does
to make-
EA? Okay, just one thing. Does EA ever do anything that we like? Somebody please answer.
EA's that dick friend you always have that just nuts you constantly.
It's
People
like
like-
Apple.
People like Battlefield.
They're like Apple.
No, it sucks.
They make good products, but
I
they
love
just charge way too much for
Battlefield.
them.
But EA didn't make Battlefield; they just published it. Okay.
Well,
I
Activision
see
doesn't
all
make
the-
Call of Duty. They just publish it. Yeah, it's the same
Yeah.
difference.
That's where I'm going to stop you there because Activision actually owns the companies that make Call of Duty, so they do have more say
That's true.
than EA does.
No, that's true. You're absolutely right. All right, so I guess right now, I mean, that's pretty much all of the hardware information that was released in that event, as far as I remember. So I guess, I mean, we could pretty much wrap this this talk up with just one final question. Like, so what are your guys' overall opinion on what you're gonna do when these consoles start getting to release? Would you guys like just up and sell your consoles or go spend a bunch of money, or like what's the game plan?
To be
Oh no.
Or just advice
keeping
in
my
general?
I'm keeping my PS3.
To be honest, I'm probably going to end up buying the whole unit. The unit without selling my old PS3. I'm probably going to go and do that.
Same
And
here.
the only thing I'm really having issue with is I'm the kind of gamer that wants to get in and just game. I don't want all these extra little features getting. I don't want them to get in my way. You know what I mean? If
Yeah.
something pops
Yeah.
up that says a friend wants to join, like join you, if it's I don't want big notifications just popping up everywhere. I want to have more of the screen dedicated to the game than anything else, because I can go on Facebook if, I mean it's pretty cool that they're being more social now, but I'm the kind of gamer that likes just to get into the game and basically be dedicated to that game while I'm playing it. I
I
don't
mean,
want
don't be bothered by people hitting
Yeah.
you up.
I don't want to be interrupted during it. But see, hey, if somebody wants to join my game or something like that, then yeah, that's fine if it gives me a little notification about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, you see, you get what I'm saying? Like, I just want to get finished with that game, and then after I get finished with that game, that's whenever I can just like get on and check stuff. I just don't want it to get in my way.
No, that makes sense. You know, I see. I mean, the overall idea is that you buy a game console to play a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the problem though with game consoles today. Is they're not consoles. They're not just strictly consoles. They're computer systems.
They're computer systems. Yeah.
You know, that's the only
Yeah,
way
as
to
much
move
as
forward.
the PC.
That's why I want to
as much as
know.
That's what
Whoa.
this is what kind of like separates a console from a PC. You know what I mean? The console's all about like it's not really about really high powered engines, you know.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah.
Michael,
But
what
as
was
much as the PC snobs don't want to admit it, it is still a computing system.
Oh yeah, even my router for my internet's a computer system. Like that's where everything. If it has a motherboard and some memory and a chip, that's basically what it is. You know, but I mean, gamers have this. I think a majority of gamers, and I'm guilty of it too. So I'm not calling anybody
Well,
out. Nothing.
I got
But there's this illusion that the console is different than a computer. But it's really
Yeah,
not.
separate from it.
kind of is. It's kind of basically a console is what they're trying to do. I mean, it's basically a media hub. That's all it is. And a computer is just you know what I mean. You can't. I mean, a console you ain't going to sit there and edit videos on. Well, Sony try to do that, but
Leave it to Sony. They'll try anything. Okay?
don't try it
At least once.
at least one time.
Now, see, for me personally, I'm gonna wait 6 months and see. I mean, I'm looking at the Xbox 720 and I'm looking at the PlayStation 4. Now, I don't really have much to go on for the Xbox 720
Not
as of
just
yet, but my idea is I'm gonna wait 6 months and I'm gonna see where everything lies. And
where everything is standing.
I'm pretty much assuming that Xbox is going to be on the same history path as when the 360 came out. They waited a short time and then they cut off service to the original Xbox. And PlayStation has said that they're going to kind of do something like that. It's kind of wishy-washy what exactly they're going to do, but
See, that's gonna enrage a bunch of people because some people still want to play their PS3 games. You know.
yeah, well, that's why in their
We have to worry
philosophy.
about bandwidth because everyone is overselling, and that's
Yeah.
the problem.
Well, see,
Yeah.
but that is one thing that they've said the price value is going to be lower than the PS3 when it launched I remember
But
PS3 was like
the
$500-600.
The reason the PS3 is more than I don't know if we're talking about PS3 or an Xbox, but one reason the price of the PS3 is so much more than the 360 is because
Blu-ray.
they don't charge for online. They don't do all this extra charging that Xbox does.
And because it has a Blu-ray.
Well, no, but graphically it's better too. I mean, the hardware that the PlayStation 3
it's
has
not much better. I think the biggest difference is they both use polygon systems. The only difference that I've seen so far is that Sony puts like an anti-aliasing on theirs, and
well, no, Slappy. The PC games have anti-aliasing too. So
I'm talking about a key difference between Sony and Microsoft.
Okay.
Because we all know PC's gonna beat them.
Well, I'm not being a PC fanboy because I'm not a fanboy of because I like playing some games on PC, but I'm not all like, oh, PC is better than a console just because.
If you got
you can't modify a console. A console's made and it's made, but you can go take a PC and modify it to your likings, and that's
true.
It's like, you probably spent $1,200,000 on your PC. Well, you know what I mean, $2,000 or $1,000 or $2,000 for your PC, and I can go get a console for $400-500, and it does pretty decent. You know,
Well,
I'm not all about graphics. I want a good gaming experience.
Well, and that's
the best advice, I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Kitty.
Well, I guess the best advice, the best advice you can give for something for everyone who's listening on right now is if you're iffy about the PS4 and you don't know if you want it, go with Kayinus' advice. This is what I'm doing. Wait about 6 months and see how it's doing. If you still want it, if it still calls to you, get it. But if they're not playing PS3 games, keep your PS3. I'm keeping mine. Yeah. I'm not selling it.
I don't ever sell my PlayStation consoles. I have every console, PlayStation console except the PS Vita. And
you need to step it up there, buddy.
Don't just. I'm not paying $400 for a portable device. I'm sorry.
Sony fanboys.
The only thing I'm gonna do is play a game and set it down for 5 months and not even touch it. And I done paid $400 for something I'm not gonna use.
You should rent it out to people.
Rent my Vita, a new service from Hersey.
But no, go ahead, buddy.
The only thing I'm saying, like y'all said, I might wait because don't jump. Just because it's new technology, don't mean you have to jump to it and have it before anybody else.
Yeah.
Same thing with these games.
Necessarily mean better.
Same things with these games. I've made many mistakes by jumping out to get a game before it come out. Before everybody, and I ended up not liking the game and later.
Case in point. Colonial Marines.
I didn't buy it. I rented it.
You didn't buy it, but it was terrible, wasn't it?
Yes, it was sad.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, they all make really good points.
3.
Oh no.
And it was made by Gearbox, the same people who made Borderlands, which is fantastic and great. But the thing I really give to Gearbox is that they actually tried something new, and sure they failed at it, but they tried.
But don't, like I said, don't jump for it just because it's new technology, and don't jump for it just because you want it because it's before everybody else has it. Because in the end, it's going to be the same thing when you buy it now and then buy it later. Yeah, it's not going to be a really big difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to come down to personal preference, and that's just us personally. I don't want you guys in the stream thinking that we're saying you have to wait 6 months. No. I mean, do what you feel is right.
No, guys, you have to wait.
If you want the system
first.
No,
don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
But I think let's just take. I just say precaution is best when it comes to something new because I jumped on the PS3 right away. 2 years later, something better than Burnout Paradise came, and mind you, there wasn't a whole lot better than Burnout Paradise when PlayStation 3 was launched. So, it took forever to get a Street Fighter game on it. It took forever for a Call of Duty to get on it, just because people didn't have the support.
I think it's more or less the developer side because they didn't know what they were working with just yet because this was such a new technology to them. They went from like a PS2 that had like not even, it probably didn't even have like a like 300 megahertz processor in it. I mean, it was a big jump for them, you know. It's new
Oh, yeah.
technology and new. They didn't. I mean, now I kind of feel that now since they got their hands on this newer technology, they kind of probably have better systems now to get these games developed.
Oh yeah,
But
I'm
see,
sure.
I don't want games just to when it launches. I don't want games just to start popping up because that tells you that they hurried up and got these games out. I want to, you know what I mean? I want some games that actually
Yeah, well, that's
that
the
feels complete.
well, see, that's the curse. That's the curse of internet. See, like
That's what's.
I remember
Sorry.
when Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past was brand new.
Oh.
Okay, when Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past was brand new, and Super Nintendo, there was no such thing as you have to hook it up to the internet and download the update to make sure
The
it runs smooth.
DLCs and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I mean
No,
companies
it's just red to red, green to yellow,
companies
white to
took
white.
the time to make sure that the game was made right because they didn't have a backup plan, and I believe developers have relied too heavily on a backup plan. So
And
I mean, if I were to
I
say
don't
if
like
anything,
that.
I got two things I
I
want to
mean,
talk about before we get done with
for-
the stream.
like you said, Kayinus, with Zelda and whatnot,
go
they,
ahead,
they,
say
they,
it.
they didn't with a game like say Skyrim. I know I'm coming back to that a lot, but it kind of pissed me off because this is a Bethesda thing. I mean, we know it's gonna have bugs, okay? Because it's Bethesda. And
It's
they always
because
have
they're
bugs.
building big open world games like that are going to be buggy.
Yeah, that's true.
But the thing is,
It's in its
it didn't have the polish that they were promising, and we all knew in the back of our minds that it was gonna be shit, but we all bought it anyway.
Well, it's hard because these developers had to make these games, and then they had to port them over to a different type of processor compared to the Xbox. I'm not
don't be-
saying that's an issue. I'm saying.
I mean,
some of these-
look at Naughty Dog. They can make amazing games
That's because they're
and make
specific
them
to
look
PlayStation, aren't?
like freaking
Well,
Jesus.
But see, I don't really care if it's specific to PlayStation or not.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just.
there are certain
yeah.
things that developers do because they prefer something over the other. That's why exclusive titles always work. Halo worked on Xbox because it was an exclusive title and they could just format to one console.
Yeah.
Uncharted exclusive, God of War exclusive. Can't think of any other Xbox exclusive because I don't
Well,
have to.
actually, now
Well,
I
actually,
Black Ops.
Okay, I'm gonna
Gears of
say
War. Gears of War.
Okay.
Actually,
But Call of Duty is exclusive on one feature only. It was actually said by a few commentators on YouTube this year was that they actually encode Xbox coding, and then when they copy the game for PS3, they just copy it, direct copy. They changed the what they need to change to make it
Yeah.
match, but the Xbox coding is still inside your
Oh,
PlayStation 3
you
version
know,
of Call of Duty. So,
whenever you download I'm sorry, I'm not meaning to interrupt you, but I just want to say this real quick. Whenever you download a PC game, and if it's on both if it's on like Xbox 360 and PS3, you can go through the PC's files and find the console's files in the PC game's files. Like
Yeah.
on Grand Theft Auto, I was going through it the other day, and I was seeing PS3 and Xbox besides certain things.
yeah,
It's
well,
like,
and
they
that
basically-
coding needs to be there, yeah.
yeah.
But see, it's like, and that's the thing. They just copy and paste it. So each developer makes their game specifically for the console of their choosing.
Yeah.
Basically, if you can go into the PS3's hard drive or these games' hard drives, and you look at them, it's the same exact layout of a PC game the way they're installed. It's
Oh yeah, it has to be. I mean, you can't change the way you develop a game just because
Yeah,
you're
I'm
on a
s-
console. I mean,
Yeah.
actually, like graphically, most of the stuff is developed on the higher end PCs or the higher end Macintoshes, and then it's
Yeah,
transferred
Mac.
over.
You're more prone
to a
you're
console.
you're more prone to run into aimbots and hacks and stuff like that on a PC because their files are so open, and then you look on the PlayStation, Xbox, they're kind of locked down.
Yeah.
But I know
Well, there's one thing. Oh no, go ahead.
No, you talk. I was done. I just got to talk about after y'all get done.
Just keep talking over Hershey.
No, one of the things I'm really hoping, and I'm already noticing. Shish you. I'm noticing that the PlayStation started doing something real little recently. Is they say they listen to the gamers but in some sense they don't. Like, a lot of gamers love to play. I know for one, I have Legend of Dragoon and I have Final Fantasy IX, one of my two favorite PS1 games.
Awesome games.
And I love to play them, and right now I have them on my PSP because, well, I don't get to play on PlayStation as much as I used to. But, you know, the fact that they're not going to have this is kind of sad. They're not really listening to gamers. I mean, there's a lot of games that I love to play on the PlayStation 2. On the PlayStation 1 that I just go, I'm not going to be able to play on the system. It kind of makes me sad. You know, and that's why I'm kind of a little reserved about waiting the 6 months or a little longer, going, okay, maybe they'll just, wake up and they go, okay, you can download and you can play,
Well,
other
going
games.
back to what Kayinus was saying about the PS3 and they had to go back and remove stuff. I wonder if that's an issue they're having with the PS4 with all this new technology that it's packing. I wonder if they could not implement these backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of software there that needs to be coded. I mean, you have to imagine coding.
I'm pretty
is huge.
It can come through an update. I'm thinking that'll bring backwards compatibility, but I'm not saying that they're probably going to or not. But
I hope they do, because I really gotta play my Barbie games. I gotta have my games.
I need to play Lollipop Chainsaw because that's still that game's still interesting.
That game is just nothing but an enormous, hilarious stereotype.
But I got one thing. Like I said, I have 3 different things to talk about, but I'm gonna stop in between. But one thing I don't know if this is PS4 related or anything, but it's just something I need to get out there.
Uh-oh.
I'm tired of seeing these game companies releasing games in year cycles. That's kind of enraging me because they're putting out these half-made games that takes a good 3 years to finish, a good 2 or 3 year development cycle.
Well, which game are you specifically talking about?
Well, I'm talking about kind of games like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Battlefield's trying to move to an approach since they knocked Medal of Honor out. They're saying that the Battlefield 3 is going to be the new yearly cycle game.
Oh God!
And what's making me bad about that
is 2 years.
Look at Battlefield. Look at Battlefield in 3. You see all the bugs they had to work out of it, and it's still kind of buggy.
Well, but all right, this is. I'm not defending developers, but I have to say this real quick. Games like Call of Duty, the reason why they come out every year is because they have 2 teams. Basically, one after the other. So while Modern Warfare 3 was released, all right, a year prior, Black Ops 2 already started.
Mm-hmm.
So while Modern Warfare 3 was finishing up its first cycle of having its year out, they were finishing up making Black Ops 2. So they already had a year on it, so they made it for 2 years. But there's always this, and there will always be with internet now, in the back of the developers' mind saying, look, it's okay if we don't get that fixed 100%. Let's get the game made, and then let's go back and revamp and kind of make it over a little bit and make it look good.
That's the issue. See, whenever they do that, they push the games out and then they rely on patching it. Sometimes the patches don't do what they're supposed to do. Sometimes it breaks more parts of the game than it fixes.
Well, sometimes too, and like I said, it's not necessarily defending developers, but sometimes developers can only think of so much. Players sometimes will do something to the gun. Let's say like the ACR in Modern Warfare 3. Nobody anticipated the fact that was it the bullet penetration, the impact was going to have on that gun. They thought, okay, it's going to go through, cause a little bit more damage, but people were shooting through walls in that game because they found out that they could. And that's the thing. Developers can't think of everything. What they can do is kind of anticipate what it should do and then get feedback. So that's why updates are a big thing now. When they realized that the Type 95 in Modern Warfare 3 was way overpowered, they stepped it down a bit. But that step down a bit, you couldn't even notice it because it was still extremely overpowered.
Well, one reason I'm not blaming developers for pushing these games out so fast. My issue is I think it's kind of the gamers' fault because a bunch of people are demanding these games to be. They said, "Man, we want another game. We want another game." Like it's kind of makes me mad in a way.
Well, they have to keep up a bit, I think. I mean, KJ or Michael or Kitty, what do you guys think on this topic?
I think you guys should click on that link that I put down.
We're in the middle of a stream.
I know, but like, that's what Infinity Ward is doing to improve their game. Like, honestly.
All right, well, here, which one was you the last link?
Here's the last link.
But anyways, one more thing. One more thing I have to say is the DLCs. Now, the thing I have with DLCs is that if I have a thing. If I go out and pay $60 for the game, I think I'm entitled. I feel like I should be entitled to all the DLCs because that is part of the game I'm paying for. I remember.
Yeah, the DLC is in the game itself. It's just blocked.
I feel like I remember I missed the days where you just go and buy the game and that's all you do. You just pay that one price and get on there and play the game.
But you know,
I do like the DLCs because it adds more things to the game. I just don't feel like I should go out and pay $40-$50 more to have these DLCs. That's like buying a whole nother game.
Well, the
What DLCs do is they extend the amount of time that you are interested in a game.
The life
that
of
way,
it.
developers have more time to develop their next project or whatever, or they're just using it to make money. In the case of EA.
Yeah, well, you know, I think DLC is primarily there to extend the life of it, but it is a moneymaker too. I mean, it's a little bit of both. Basically, nobody's going to put something out there if it's not going to make money. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah,
but
I'm just saying.
But you know, with your argument with Battlefield, you know, I think what they did was instead of just have DLC that was, you know, another
the
map,
DLC was well worth it. I mean, it changed the game every DLC. I'm not complaining. I mean, it just kind of makes me mad how much their charging system for them.
Well, it's going to be that way because that's just something we're never going to be able to avoid.
It's a lot of work developing these games.
It's going to be that way because people keep buying into it.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
well, yes and no.
I mean, also how much they put into it financially. Like, you want to see a profit. You know, I mean,
they probably put over $1 million in the games and developing.
Well, I heard
they make it I tell you, they make it back in the end.
Well, I heard, for example, too, it depends because when you do an update, you also have to go through the console manufacturer. So when they do an update, they have to contact Microsoft, contact Sony, and say we have an update, and then there's a fee. I heard last year, Battlefield, their first DLC, the reason why it took forever to get to PlayStation 3 was because it cost like $25,000 to just send Sony a file.
The patch. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They cost Sony so much. Sony charges so much to put a patch through.
So, you know, it's ridiculous, but, you know, everybody wants
another reason why Sony takes forever when it updates. Because it's more than one in an update.
Yep. No, I agree. Hey, so Hersey, you had other topics. What was your other topic you want to get out?
Well, I already said 2 of them. I have one more. I don't really know, but they said Bungie is coming to PlayStation. I just had to cover this. I just have to cover this.
Wait,
Destiny.
I'm glad you saved this one for last because this is probably like another hour.
I had a feeling I needed to save it because I know Mike had a lot to say about it. But I have an issue. What I'm going to say, what I think. I have an issue with that because it's kind of feels like Bungie is selling out, you know, in a way. Because I kind of and them going exclusive. I remember them saying something. There's going to be more exclusive content in the future for like PlayStation. They're teaming up with Activision.
Well, you know, they're contracting.
Yeah.
I could give you a list right now of most of the companies that are going to PS, the Sony.
Mm-hmm.
There's there's Activision, Trice, Capcom, Cherani, Atlas, Art Inc., From Software, Image Poach, Paradox, Sega.
Wait. You said Activision's going exclusive for PS3? I mean,
I don't know if it's.
No, that would cut in their profits so fucking bad.
I don't think this is exclusive, but I think this is most of the companies that are going that have basically agreed to be a part of the PS4 gaming, because there's also LucasArts, Ubisoft.
Well, before you go down the
Mercury
list,
Steam.
hold on one second. We cut you off right there. Before you go down this huge list, most Activision is going to go over to PlayStation because they're offering a game on dual systems. Most of these names on the list, I would say a good 70% of them are going to also be on Xbox. Exclusive titles, they're just saying that they're giving support. And I think that's really what they're saying. You're going to have support from us on your new system. So give us what we need, and we'll give you what you need. That's how I see it. And that seems more... Because, I mean, Activision... They already have a series that works amazingly on Xbox. We've said it a million times. I don't think I need to say the name again. But, you know, they offer it on PS3. And there are titles from Activision that are more exclusive to PlayStation than on Xbox based on consumer reports.
Well, you do know Activision's been around since the first Atari.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You know, they've been a big supplier through the game.
And their logo has not changed. I think their loading symbols the same as the same.
Yeah, no, Nintendo and Activision have been the head leaders for a long time. Do you realize Sony came into the market with Nintendo? Sony actually gave the processor chip for the first Nintendo system.
Well, you do know Sega is part of PlayStation, right?
Yeah, well, that's because...
It's actually in their agreement.
Well, that's because Sega wasn't making it on their own.
Yeah.
You know, Sega tried to go out on their own. Just like, see, Sega tried to do what Sony did. Sony was with Nintendo. They made the processor chips and the motherboards. Then they said, we can do it better than you. And they did. They made the PlayStation 1. And it outdid the Super Nintendo, so Nintendo had to report back. In the meantime, Sega came up and said, well, we can make a system too. And they were ahead of their time. I personally think Sega developed everything better first.
Oh, you talking about the Dreamcast? Yeah, they were way ahead.
Sega CD, followed by Sega Saturn. Okay?
Yeah.
The Genesis is what they relied on. And then when the Dreamcast came out, it was an amazing
Dude,
achievement.
A bunch of people, that was the first, I think that might have been the first console that featured disc.
Well, not only that, but you remember the memory stick? It was actually a little mini like Game Boy that you can actually level up your characters in a very basic program, and then put that back in and then send it to your current game. So they had ways for you to actually play the game without you even being home. It was ingenious. The problem is that people were not ready for that at all, and that's what happened. So they ended up going to Sony and saying, we have great ideas, but we can't make it work. What do you have for us?
So what you're saying is the problem with them not being successful is that they were too successful too fast.
Yeah, honestly. And I think most gamers could see that. If you go back right now, if you loaded up a Dreamcast right now, I guarantee the processor power on it wouldn't compare to the PS3, but I think it would give the PS2 a run for its money.
Yeah, it would. But see, one thing that impresses me nowadays is now we have phones that can play PS2 games and stuff like that.
Oh, I know.
It's crazy how
I've
far
modded
we've
my phone
come.
a few times.
This has been making me giggle for a while. Bungie, you know, the company known for making sci-fi FPS games about aliens and large circles in space, are doing the exact same thing again.
And let's like you posted. Let's look back at their creative past. Halo,
and people were telling me.
Halo.
People were telling me, but Bungie, you're amazing. How are you not excited? Well, let's look at their previous work. Halo.
Yeah.
How do we know what their next game is going to be like?
Destiny.
All they did design is Halo games, and now we're going to look back and I hope to God. I mean, it'll be cool if we do have kind of like a Halo type thing, but I don't want.
It is
Halo. I
It's
don't
a
want
first
to
person. It's a first person shooter.
It's called Lost Planet, and it's actually better.
Well, they're this new game coming out is Destiny, I think.
Destiny. Yeah, it's Destiny. It's exclusive content for the PlayStation community.
I thought it was coming out on Xbox too.
No. See, that's what I mean. So that game is gonna be exclusive to PlayStation. But you think they're gonna stop making Halo? I don't think so.
No,
they just bought a new team.
Microsoft Studios took over.
132 or whatever studios.
Yeah, 343 Studios took over the Halo.
Yeah.
And basically, this is Bungie. I feel like this is kind of Bungie is doing like a hey, look at our comeback or something. That's what I feel like.
Well, see,
And
but,
Microsoft's going, okay, whatever.
well, see, that's what actually encouraged that. That's what raises the question again: is how is the multiplayer gonna work? Because Bungie was reported that the reason why they chose Microsoft over PlayStation originally to do the Halo series was because of the online feature that Xbox offered. So it's kind of a curiosity to see, like, well, if they're moving over to PlayStation for this one exclusive title that's primarily an online experience, what is PlayStation holding on to? What do they have that is gonna make that fluid? Because currently they don't have it.
Yeah, that's the issue we're running into. We have all this new coming technology taking up all the bandwidth that we currently can have, and that's the issue we're having. We're just like, we're using up all of our technology just too fast. It's just
we
it's
have
gonna be the rise of the machines.
Amount of shit. We have,
Okay, get it out, Slappy. Don't need to come slap your back.
fuck you. We're can't good sentence make.
Is that all?
Screw it. I'm not even gonna say it. It's 3 a.m.
Well, here, I'll tell you what, guys. You know, I enjoyed talking with you guys and tossing ideas, and hopefully, hopefully PlayStation, look, I don't ever want to see a company produce bad quality on anything, so I'm personally hoping that Sony will come up and say, look, we developed a really good system, here it is, and people say, yeah, it's a really good system and I enjoy it. That's really what I hope, and that's what we want to make sure that the people who are watching us, they know that, again, we're not here to knock it, but we have experiences.
Here to give you our opinion.
This is our opinion, so we hope you enjoyed it, guys, and thanks for interacting. Actually, it was one of the first streams where people are actually asking us questions. I was really, really excited about that.
Yeah.
And it was my idea.
And it was
My
Hersey's
idea.
idea. Hershey?
Yeah,
I know
Hershey sucks.
Chick,
I never-
everybody.
I never
Xbox
have
is better.
never.
Fuck
You can ask Slappy. Most of the time, whenever I come up with an idea, or me and him come up with an idea, it always fails.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, guys.
No
Let's say
problem.
goodbye to the guys on the stream because we can talk for another hour about nonsense, and they don't need to hear us do
I
that.
just want to say I'm not talking about anything. I
Sony
just want
sucks.
to say I really enjoyed this, guys. I hope to do it again, and whenever they announce the Xbox, we can. Or after E3, we can just rant about everything if we need to.
There's going to be a lot to talk about. There's going to be games coming out for the consoles
This
that are
might
coming out.
be Kayinus' idea that he decided to say, hey, let's sit down and do some podcasts. This might be it coming true right here.
You never know, guys. All right, well, with that, we're going to tell you guys on Twitch. Thank you for stopping.
Don't end it.
It's
Wait,
3:15 a.m. for me.
Wait.
Half the people left
Yeah.
already.
Oh, I don't
One
care.
question for everyone before we go. What is your game of the year?
Please.
Game of the year?
And if
Game of the year,
everybody would
you
like
can
to rewatch this stream,
2013.
Okay.
I'm going to get it and re-upload it
I'm going to
to
tell
my
you
channel.
right now, my game of the year is Borderlands 2.
My
Ah.
here is.
I don't blame you. That's a good game.
Well, to be honest, my game of the year is I really don't favorite a game like that. I don't like sit there and favorite a game, but
What's the
I
game
really
you play
get-
the most?
well, last year I would say, last year I would have said it was Battlefield 3. Just saying.
Yeah.
Because,
You've raged at that game so much.
shut up. I still kind of do enjoy it behind some of that rage. That's the reason I continue to play it.
That's why
I
he
can't-
still has a controller.
Well, I'm surprised I still have this controller. I didn't get thrown out the window yet.
What about you, Irish Kitten?
You're all gonna boo me on this, but my
Mass
game of the
Effect
year is Mass
3.
Effect. Yeah.
Ah.
That's alright.
I don't care. I love that game.
Well-
It's one of the games that actually brought me back into gaming. My husband introduced me to 2. I watched my dad play 1, and I was like, I'm not playing that because my dad's playing it. But I watched him play 2, and I was like, oh, this looks really good, even though I'm getting motion sick. And then I played 2,
Well, see, that's
and then
what
3 when it came out.
I have to say, runner-up in my favorite
Number
games
three.
would be Assassin's Creed 3. At first, I got the game. I did not play it for like 2 or 3 months because I didn't like the transition from the Ezio story to a new person. But see, in the end, you don't judge a game at the beginning of it. You have to play it. That's what I found out. Like I played it and I actually liked it. It actually felt like it belonged there in the timeline.
Ubisoft has a tendency to make characters that we can relate to and we really like, and when those characters are taken away, we're like, I wanted him and the thing.
And then we find out that the character is actually a pretty good character.
They're good at writing well-rounded characters.
Ubisoft, in my opinion, is great at making games.
Which is not going to make sense when I tell you that my game of the year is Far Cry 3.
Oh,
That's I'll have to say that too. I'll have to say that.
Absolutely terrible character design. It was just like the guy who's supposed to do character design just called in sick for a year.
Hey guys, I can't come in and design for a year. I'll be back sometime later.
Wait.
Story itself was good, but the characters were just shit.
My game of the year. You guys are gonna hate that though. Obviously I get paid for playing the game, and I love it. It's competitive.
Black Ops 2.
But I love Black Ops 2.
Oh, okay.
And
of course, MLG Pro player over there.
The only issue I had with that game, I played Call of Duty.
No, wait. Let's like.
But I played Far Cry 3 for 2 days straight just to beat the campaign, and I got hooked.
I did.
I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it.
I rented.
A vacation simulator once you're done with it, and it's great.
I actually put in Far Cry 3 from GameFly to try it out. Okay, I immediately took it out and returned it because I knew it was a game I get too invested in. I was like, I can't do that right now. I don't have time to get invested in a really long ass game. But I enjoyed the 4.5 nonstop hours I took off of work to do it. So.
But the only issue I had with Black Ops is I play I'm not a Call of Duty multiplayer because I'm gonna straight up say I suck at multiplayer.
You gotta move to Xbox, buddy.
I'm really good at Call of Duty multiplayer.
I've strictly played every Call of Duty game. I've played every game of Call of Duty. I played every game of Medal of Honor and every game of Battlefield.
Oh my god, he made it with 1 second.
And the only issue I had with Black Ops 2 is the campaign. I didn't really enjoy it. I would spend more time repeating one mission because of the mechanics not wanting to work right with me. I don't know. Like the jet mission, I could not get past that jet mission. I had to do it like 28 times before I finally passed it.
I think
no play.
I think I don't know if KJ, if you've played the campaign of Black Ops 2, but I've played it, and I think they just took too much. I think they made it too complex. I think they should have simplified it.
I love how they added the butterfly effect.
Simple and it should be silly as hell.
I love how they added the butterfly effect.
That's what Call of Duty single player needs to be. This should be mindless, stupid fun. And
one thing about campaign, I gotta say one thing to EA. EA, please change Battlefield storyline. We don't want to go disable bomb every freaking game. Every game since Bad Company, we've freaking been disabling bombs, trying to stop a country from getting a bomb. It's like, oh my god, can we do something different instead of trying somebody nuke the world?
War is repetitive, my friend.
KJ,
we gotta stop it sometime.
Yeah,
that's what we do. It's really annoying.
I'll tell you what, guys. Let's
wrap it up.
KJ wants to say something, so let's let him finish up his thought, and then let's just wrap this up.
What do you guys say?
Back to Call of Duty. Well, you guys are hitting on the story, but I love how they added the butterfly effect to it.
Yeah, no.
One thing happens on one part of the world, it changes the whole chronological order on the other.
Well, actually, you know what? No, on a more, I guess, psychological level, I guess it would fit. I'm not quite sure which one, but no, I can agree with you there, KJ, because they at least went outside the box. They'd never done a futuristic game before. Yeah.
No, this was basically an experimental. I mean,
they're getting back their silliness roots, which I think they really need to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, everybody loves World War II. I mean, gonna be remembered for a long time. So
I'm not gonna say I totally hate the campaign of Black Ops 2. I mean, it's not gonna be my favorite.
look, let's just face it, nothing's ever gonna be COD 4, okay?
Yeah.
That was a good damn story.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you coming for the stream. Thank you, Hersey, for the idea, and KJ, Michael, Kitty. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
James, who's playing a game in the background of Kitty, who's not really
Thank
paying
you,
attention.
Kayinus, for making this event come to life with your stream.
So thank you guys for talking to us, and thank you
in the background.
stream for enjoying our randomness half the time. But with that, we're gonna call this a night on the Twitch side, and then we could talk more if you guys want. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys later on Twitch. Thanks for coming.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Stay suited up and stay classy. I'm just kidding.